Who am I? In search of I, we get the concept of spirituality, religion. So religion and spirituality discuss mainly the individual existence, the existence of the self, the existence of human existence, or beings, or all the beings. So in this sense, we can say that Jain philosophy is somehow very rich in its metaphysical discussions. The metaphysics of Jains is somehow very rich. In most of the philosophy you would find the discussion about the God, about the universe, but less you will find about the individual existence. They discuss but very few things, not so much and systematic or detailed study we find in other philosophical systems as we find in Jain philosophy. So who are we, or who am I? Who is the individual? Whether it is the existence of human being or any being, living being, all come under this category, that is who am I. Every living being wants to know about his own or her own existence, how it is made up of, and which are the basic realities with which our existence is associated. So we have to analyze our own existence under the concept of Nav Tattva.
But this question only arises for the human mind. So plants and animals don't have the capacity to even think about this.
Yeah, that is true. But what happens, so far as Jain religion is concerned, we find that even animal beings also are in search of their own existence. And sometimes they also observe some vows for their spiritual development, because it might be that they have been in some days or in some time as a human being. They had been, and because of that form of life, they could get some knowledge about their own existence. And that knowledge may work in that form of animal being also, so that they could get some light about their own existence. And because of that inspiration, they observe some vows in living in animal form even. So Jains give free, what we say, right or freedom of following religion even in the state of animal being.
Some animals have got a very powerful intellect.
Yeah.
Like dogs.
Yeah.
Recently there was a case.
Yeah.
A dog died with the cancer of his owner.
Yeah.
And started barking and this and that.
Yeah.
Because he noticed some things going on in the body.
Yeah. So actually the soul of animal beings or human beings are not separate from each other. Only the difference is in the forms of the life, but the soul is the same. So they may have same knowledge. So here we are, so to answer the queries, the Jain Tirthankaras see, because of some diabetical marks, this type of marks are coming here. Somewhere here it is not, the software is not available or system, therefore it is converting. So I will pronounce you and you will get. To answer the queries, the Jain Tirthankaras have given two fundamental theories in the field of metaphysics: the theory of six substances. Oh, so it is not coming here. Close of this space. So somehow, and the second theory, and that's to get the answer of the first query about the cosmic existence, we get the theory of six substances or five extended realities. Extended realities are technically known as astikayas, 5 astikayas. So we have discussed already all these things in the last classes. And to answer the second question, the Jain philosophers have given the theory of 9 tattvas. You can note down. One line has gone down.
Excellent.
Yeah? Because of the space, in the lake of the space.
So that is dravya, and what is this?
Shad dravya.
Yes.
6
Oh, 6.
in Shad dravya. 6 substances or 5 extended realities, Panchastikaya or 6 substances. In the context of universe or cosmic existence, we deal with the theory of 6 substances or 5 extended realities. In Hindi you can say Shadravya or Panchastikaya. Now, the Jain Tirthankaras had said that each individual is consisting of 9 realities, which are the 9 realities which are associated with our whole existence, which define our existence. So the first one is the Jeev. Jeev means soul or living being. Each and every living being is originally or basically a living entity. So he comes under Jeev category. It is clear? Then his worldly existence is not free from the effect of other elements, and therefore he is also associated with some non-living elements, and non-living elements are defined as Ajiv, are known as Ajiv Tattva.
So I didn't quite understand that. So every being,
Yeah,
that's animals, plants and humans,
yeah,
have a soul,
yeah.
and they also have a non-soul.
Non-soul
As a
also.
kind of,
In the form of body,
Yeah.
in the form of karmic agency, which is associated with us, that have also become part of our own existence, worldly existence especially.
okay.
So we are associated with some non-living, non-soul elements. So in worldly state, these are also part of our existence, worldly existence especially. Yeah.
In the books it says sentient and non-sentient. What does that mean, sentient?
Yes, sentient means which has consciousness. Non-sentient means which has no consciousness. So Jeev can be said as sentient. So we can say Jeev, consciousness, soul, sentient. All are synonymous. Likewise, Ajeev, non-living, non-soul, insentient, all are synonymous. Yeah? Because non-soul or non-living elements have no consciousness, so they come under insentient, inanimate. So you can say inanimate also. These 5 words are synonymous.
A jiva could be part of your body or something outside your body as well.
Yeah, as well.
Like a stone or
Yeah, everything. The world with which you are associated or with which you are interacting, that is full of non-living. You are using chairs, tables, houses, buildings. So all these are made up of non-living elements. Yeah. Body itself is non-living. Our body is non-living. Our karmic body is also non-living.
And the life
Luminous
in,
body is also non-living.
the life in the body, as it were, the life force.
Yeah.
That is that part of soul, or is that considered as something else?
Yeah, it is part of soul. It is
Right.
the manifestation of the soul in
Okay.
body.
Okay.
Presence of soul. As
Right.
soon as it passes out,
It becomes a
the
dead
body
body.
becomes dead.
Yeah.
So these are the symptoms of the presence of the soul in body. All the sensations, feelings, and knowledge power, perception power, you are looking in body or senses only because of the presence of the soul. As soon as it goes out, you will not find all these symptoms in body.
Right. Yes.
Because it is non-conscious.
Okay. And one of the questions I've always wanted to know is seeing plants as having jiva
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Is the suggestion then that plants have souls?
Yeah, they have soul,
Yes.
like us.
Like
But their form of body is somehow different from us.
Somehow
Therefore, we are not recognized them as a soul or living.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you come to small plants, like say grass, for instance, is the idea that every blade of grass has a soul, or is it the mass of the grass that?
No. Every what we say part of
every small plant has soul.
Yeah, has soul.
Okay.
And not only one soul, but there are so many souls in one plant.
Many souls in one
Many
plant.
souls, yeah. They are so small,
Yeah.
or we can say microorganisms,
Yeah.
that they can reside in many numbers at one place.
More so than in humans.
Yeah.
So in the belief,
Human being has
No,
only
not
one
more so
soul.
than human. Each body
Yes.
you could have 5 souls, like a mother with a child.
Yes.
That's 2 souls. There's a mother and there's a child inside the womb. So that's 2 souls in that body.
So you can have more than one soul in your body.
See, generally we are one.
Yes.
Whenever mother conceives any child, at that time some other soul appears in her body. But she herself is one soul.
Right. But a plant,
Yeah.
in distinction, a plant can have lots of souls.
Yeah, lots of souls.
Because
They are
it's a very
innumerable.
unusual idea. It's a very unusual idea.
No, it is not unusual. Now science is also proving that at the base of a needle, the top of the needle part, such a small space, you can find innumerable bacteria or small living organisms.
Yes.
So this much is possible.
Yes.
In
But
one
then
drop you can get innumerable souls. In one leaf,
yeah.
So in under one leaf you can get innumerable souls. They are so small that you cannot identify easily.
But then why can't we say that we ourselves are many souls then?
We are.
Why can't
because we would have bacteria all over us as well.
We individually we are innumerable human beings.
Yes.
Yeah, I am one, you are one, he is one, you are
one
one.
body, one soul.
One body, one soul.
But in case of plant or leaf,
Yeah,
it's
there
not the
is
same
one
thing.
body and many souls.
Right.
Yeah. Though under one leaf there are so many bodies also, but they are so small that you cannot think of.
Yes.
Yeah, they are, each have their own bodies also.
As microbes or
Yeah,
bacteria.
yeah.
But then we have microbes and bacteria on us too, don't we?
Yeah, we have. So in that sense,
In that sense, we
in
would
our
have-
body there are so many souls
Yes.
in the form of bacteria.
But somehow there's a distinction.
But our own existence is single.
Is single. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We are not many. We are one.
Right. Okay.
In body there may be some other bacteria and some microorganisms, so which are helping in digestion and some
And that's
other
living.
things. Yeah,
And that's jiva.
in that jiva.
Yes.
So in body.
So the organisms are jiva.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we are the soul is dependent. Sorry, the body is dependent on the soul,
Yeah.
or manifestation is dependent on the soul.
Yeah.
So if the soul is living, the body is finished.
Yeah.
Now the same principle cannot apply to the plant because there are many souls.
Yeah.
So when does the plant in inverted commas die?
Yeah.
As human beings,
Yeah. Yeah. So they are, you see, so after some time the leaves become yellow
slowly,
Yeah.
slowly.
and what we say, sarjana.
Dry, wither.
Uh-huh.
Wither.
So it means the souls have passed
Passed by.
out of that leaf.
Yeah.
If it is green, till it is green, Till it looks green, it means there is some presence of the soul, living being.
So it's a slow
Otherwise,
process.
it cannot grow, it cannot be fresh.
Yes.
But it's
Although technically, of course, you would have bacteria even on the dry leaf would still contain. So, for instance, when the physical body, when the human soul leaves and the body dies, there'll be many microbes and bacteria for a long time.
For a long time.
Yes.
And some new can take birth in this very body.
Sorry?
After death, what happens? The body gets so many microorganisms.
Yes.
Very rapidly.
Yes.
So it happens.
Yes.
So some new can emerge. Some new can emerge in the same body.
Something new can emerge
Yeah.
in the same body.
Yeah.
No, what means your soul has left,
Yes.
so you're already gone, but your now body
Yes.
is decomposing,
Yes.
it's becoming a vehicle or receptacle for other souls to emerge.
Yes.
Okay.
It happens.
Okay. And is there a distinction, the soul in a microbe and the soul in me, for example, or you? Is it seen as different, or is it exactly the same?
The basic nature of the soul
Yes.
is the same.
Yes.
But the size and length and breadth depends on the size and length and breadth of our body.
Right. Okay. So
Because of the karmic agency, sometimes we get expansion according to the body,
Yes.
and sometimes we get contraction because the body is small, the ant is very small, the elephant is very big. So according to the body,
the soul.
our karmic agency helps to expand, helps soul to expand and contract,
Okay.
so that it can adjust itself with body. Otherwise, how it can be possible?
Yeah.
If the soul of elephant comes out and goes to the form of ant, so it cannot.
Contract.
Yeah, it cannot fit for that body.
Can you see
So
the
karmic agency helps to contract the soul of elephant in such a small state that it can adjust with that body.
Okay. Okay.
So then can you see the maximum size of the soul which it can expand is the size of the universe?
Oh yeah.
So that's the maximum.
Yeah, that is maximum.
Right.
But it happens seldomly, in very few occasions, that soul expands in the whole universe.
Right.
That's Keval Gyan, isn't it? Because
In the case of Keval Gyan, omniscient people, it happens when they got more karma and they want to remove it within a short period of time. At that time, they have to expand their soul in the entire universe, so that in expansion process, the karmic agency shatters and it gets away,
Right.
and they can balance the karmic material with the soul when they have to liberate. So before liberation, they have to see that if the karmic material is the stuff of karmic material is more and their lifespan is somehow less, so they have to equivalent so that they can liberate in time. If the karmic matter is more, they have to exhaust it before leaving, but the lifespan is not so much, so they have to balance. And for balancing, they spread their souls in the entire universe. In that process, the extra karmic material shatters, goes away, and they could maintain, they can make balance, and in time they could be free from the karmic cages. Okay? So now we are coming that we are not only soul, but we are also associated with some non-living elements in the form of body. So there are 3 types of bodies. Each living being all the time are having those bodies. So this is seen to you, it is gross body. It is known as a gross body, organic sharir. Inside this gross body, there are 2 subtle bodies which are known as Tejas Sharir and Karman Sharir. Luminous body for bioelectric body, you can say luminous body or bioelectric body, the same. Technically known as Tejas Sharir. And the subtlemost body, which is regulating our life, is known as karma shari, means karmic body. It is the main body, which is, because of that, this gross body is coming into existence. To serve the purpose of the karmic body, which is subtlemost, this body comes into existence. So these three types of bodies we are always having, each and every living being, whether it is micro or macro, there is no difference. Therefore, these 9 tattvas are related to all the living beings, or to the existence of all living beings. Okay. And the third one is punya. Sometimes we feel pleasure, sometimes we feel pain. So how these pleasures and pains are taking place? So because under the karmic body, we are getting 2 types of karmas. One is meritorious karma, and the second category is demeritorious karma. So these 2 types of karmas are making karmic body, and because of the presence of 2 types of karma in us, sometimes we feel pleasure, sometimes we feel pain. Our lifestyle is very good, yet we are getting many diseases, many physical problems. So why these problems are emerging in us? Because it might be that in present life you are not doing anything wrong, yet some demeritorious karmas are inside and they are working, they are coming into action, and because of that you are getting some disease which you cannot imagine in this life.
So what we call a problem, a problem will be different to a different person or different soul.
Yeah.
One can see it as a problem, one can see it as a challenge. So to him it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So
no,
the definition of problem.
Yeah, definition of problem may differ. It depends on the thinking level of the individual. You can define the same thing as good and the same thing as bad. It depends on your thinking, way of thinking.
But then it also affects whether it is meritorious or demeritorious, isn't it?
No, it doesn't affect, because you are getting actually some physical problems. Whether you take it as a problem or not, it depends on your positive or negative thinking. Yet the thing is something wrong or defective, which is going on in your body or in us. So why we are getting such pains? So because of some demeritorious karmas which are inside, and they are getting they are giving fruition, because all the karmas do not give fruit just when you have performed them, but after some time they come into fruition. So it might be that in past many lives you have done something which was wrong, and because of that you got some demeritorious karmas. Now they are coming into action and they are giving some fruits. So you cannot find the cause of those karmas in present life, but it might be the cause may hidden in the past lives.
Or it could be the other way around. You might have done something meritorious.
Yeah, so punya karma also.
Manifest sometime in the future.
Yeah, in future. So many times we see that some people are doing very wrong in this life, yet they are getting so many facilities, so many luxuries in this life. So people are very much doubted or suspected that whether by committing something wrong we can get some more good things. So this type of misconceptions is going on, and because of that immorality is increasing day by day. But it is not true. It might be those persons have done something good in their past lives, and because of that they are getting something luxurious or something pleasing in this life. But what they are committing today, they will get the fruits of those also, those actions also. Though not at present or in present life, yet in next life you will get the fruits. It is not, otherwise the universe, what we say, the nature will be spoiled, or there may be a chaotic state in the whole universe. There must be some justice in nature. So these are the natural laws which are governing behind the individual existence. They are recording what you are committing or what you are doing in your life. Automatically they are being recorded in your existence, and in time they will come into fruition, and you will get the result of them.
Whether it's meritorious or immeritorious, we compare it with material things.
Yeah.
You may be meritorious,
Yeah.
but because of past action, you get more material things.
Yeah.
So you become meritorious eventually.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, it's related to material things.
Yeah.
While material things is outside yourself, it comes and goes, comes and goes.
That is true, but when you are getting something, material things, which is also a sign that you have done something good in your life, or you have done something wrong in your life. So because these are the karmic material. So out of in result of any material, what we say, thing, the result will also come in the form of material. It is not spiritual, so the result will be also in the form of material. Punya and Pap both are matter, meritorious karmas, and these are material in nature. So they will result into material things, achievements.
Simplistic manner, today I got one house, tomorrow I might get 10 houses.
Yes.
And it's again because of karma.
Today,
I got one house. One house.
एक घर है तो कल 10 घर मिलेगा,
Yes.
10 house. That's because of karma.
Because of punya karma, you can get. But you have to be conscious that karmas do not come directly into action. They need some supporting factors. So unless you put effort in this life, you cannot get the fruition easily.
There must be an effort behind.
Yeah. Only sitting in the room, you will not get 10 houses. But it may be that because of the meritorious karmas, you can easily get everything if you do some effort. That much can be affected. But by sitting in a room and with folded hands, you will not get 10 houses. This is not miraculous thing. It also needs your effort in this life to get. So they are not like a terrorist who comes with guns and directly shoot. This is not the way of karma. Karma also comes in fruition with the help of supportive factors. Time factor, space. Here you can get so many facilities automatically, but in India you cannot. Because here the space is somehow very helpful to get anything easily. The country is such that you can get everything easily. But in India you can put so many efforts, yet you cannot get all those facilities which you are finding here. So space in a country plays important role in getting fruition of the karma. So why some living beings go to heaven? Because on the earth they don't get such facilities, pleasurable things which are found in heaven. So they want to get fruition of those meritorious karmas, and those fruits can be possible to get only in the heaven and not on the earth. So in this way, there are two types of punya and pap. We face so many problems in life, and we find that there is no such action which is done by me in this life. So why these problems are coming before me? But because of the past karmas which are already accumulated by your action, and now they are coming into fruition. So these punya and pap, both are the parts and partials of karmic body. Because of these two, the body of karmas, or what is the karmic body, is mega. And how these two types of karmas have entered into our existence, because we are performing some actions. So the action is recognized technically as ashram. We are performing actions. We are not sitting without any action. So in the result of every action, we get some or other particles, karmic particles. They come to us and attaches to our soul, our existence. So sometimes we perform good actions, or sometimes we do sinful activities, and because of that we are getting meritorious karmas and demeritorious karmas. So ashram is the cause of attracting meritorious and demeritorious karmas. Ashram means action. Influx of karma.
Number 10 against it, is that right?
Yeah.
That's a bullet point. The text says because of the translation.
Yes.
Yeah. Diacritical marks I have put actually.
Have gone, yes, okay. Yeah.
So because of that, ashram means influx of karma. So actually, ashram is a kind of activity which is performed by a living being, and because of that, influx of karmas is possible. So ashram is defined as influx of karma, but you have to understand that it is mainly an activity of a living being or action, which is the cause of influx of karma. In brief, it is defined as influx of karma, but in detail you will write that it is an action of the living being. Because of that, influx of karma is possible, or karma enters into soul. All those activities, because of those that karmas enter into the soul, is known as ashram. So ashram may be of two types, good and bad both. Shubh ashram and ashubh ashram. Pious action and sinful action. So both type of actions we perform, and therefore we get these two types of karmic material or particles.
Action is not only physical, also mental.
All types of mental. Three types of action. According to Jains, whenever we mention the word action, it means mental, physical and vocal. Or verbal. So vocal. All the three types of actions come under action. So if we think positive, if we think negative, so by thinking also we attract such type of karmic particles.
And presumably mental includes emotional, because a common way of dividing would be mental, emotional, physical.
Yes.
But emotional isn't mentioned, so presumably that's subsumed into mental.
See,
emotional action.
So far as the action level is concerned, it is only connected with mind, body and speech.
What
it
about
has no
feelings?
connection with emotions. Emotions are the motivating factors of all these actions. But unless you do any action, you do not attract the karma.
So you could have a feeling of
getting angry.
Anger, for example.
But you might choose not to get angry.
But if you choose not to think about it, or
then
act upon it, or speak about it, then you avoid the karma?
That's why it is said that you have to control your activities, action part first.
Right, okay.
Because it is only the source of attracting the karmas. Unless you act, you don't get attachment of the karma.
Okay.
Emotions may take place inside, but unless you act according to emotions, you don't get demeritorious karmas. Anger may take place inside you. But if you are not performing any action, because of the anger, you will not get.
That's very unusual.
What?
But it's a very unusual idea because normally you would think, say if you experience a strong passion, or desire, or emotion, and you choose not to express it. Nevertheless, the energy is there. If you see what I mean. If you don't, I can see how. I wonder what the difference is between feeling it and thinking it. So in other words, if you feel angry, but you somehow manage to control the feeling and you don't verbalize it in your mind, as it were, conceptualize it.
I think a different example, what he's saying, if you got a desire to have ice cream, today is, in your whole time is spent thinking, I want ice cream, I wish I can get ice cream, I wish this, but you don't act upon it. But the whole process of you thinking about your emotions, saying you have a craving for ice cream, do you still get karma or not? Unless you don't act upon it, you still don't eat the ice cream.
Desires are also the part of mental thinking. It is also the part of mind.
Sorry, is that the right way of...
Desires are also come under mental action.
That's what I mean, because normally desire you would associate with karma, you see. So having the feeling, the desire, even... But so it's included under mental action.
Yeah, it is under mental
It's
action.
seen as a mental
I
action.
think of that I want to eat this, I want to eat this, but because today I have fast, I couldn't eat, but I want. So this type of thinking is causes karma. Yeah.
Because
thinking, I have included thinking. So desires are also somehow the part of mental thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
But I am feeling that some emotions are emerging, but I am quite neutral and I am not taking any action. I am not thinking in that line. I am not taking any action according to my passions. Then it comes into existence and goes away. It doesn't affect our existence. Because there are some there is one kind of karma which we are having, and because of that these emotions emerge in us automatically, naturally. So by nature something can come, emerge and go away. It doesn't affect. But if you take action according to that, then only you can get attachment of desire. Otherwise, this is natural. Some things are natural which are in us, and nature works in its own way. So don't involve with nature. Something which is not favorable for our existence, don't involve it. It comes and goes away automatically.
You detach yourself.
Yeah.
You observe the emotion. But let it go. Don't think about it or act on it.
Then it goes away because of that one karma which is inside, mohaniya karma, you get sometimes negative emotions in you without any external cause. You will get some emotions which are negative. You will get some positive emotions. So positive emotions do not harm you, but negative emotions can harm much. So if you are neutral, you are looking that anger is going on or it is emerging in me. Yet you are neutral, you are not taking any action. Then it comes in once a time in existence and it goes away.
Positive emotion can harm you if ego comes in.
If?
Ego.
So it means the negative emotions is emerging at that time.
So there is a
positive emotions means you have love, so you have sympathy, you have feeling of non-violence, you have forgiveness. So all these are positive emotions are actually the part of our consciousness. They are our own nature. So it doesn't harm us. But negative emotions are coming out or coming into existence because of the karmic body. So they are not a part of our own existence. So if we take action according to them, then we can get again new karmic matter. They are not part of our consciousness actually, our own original existence. That is soul. So So therefore we should be neutral to them. We should not take action according to them. But so far as the positive emotions are concerned, they are the part of our own consciousness. So we can love so many people, but we cannot hate so many people. Well, hatred is not our own nature. We can expand our nature to infinite. Is it?
Yes.
So, ashrav, influx of karma, actually ashrav is an action which is performed by a living being, and because of that action we get karmic agency. It is only the action which is main cause of attracting karmas. And therefore Jainism gives more and more emphasis to stop action, nivritti, not pravritti. If you want to be free from karmas, you have to practice to be free from the action.
What's the word?
You have to put control over the body, you have to put control over the speech, you have to put control over the mind, and try to be free from all the activities, mental, physical and verbal or vocal, as you understand. Yeah? So all types of activities must be stopped to be free from karmic agency. Till you work, you take action, you act, you will get the karmas. Whether you are performing good actions, whether you are performing bad actions, through bad actions you are getting deleterious karmas, or through good actions you are getting meritorious karmas. After all, both are karmas and they are binding. So you cannot be free from.
And how does one avoid that becoming nihilism?
Yeah.
How does one avoid that becoming nihilism where you say,
Yeah.
I mustn't act at all,
Yeah.
therefore I'm ceasing to function as a human being?
Yeah.
So somebody could take this in an extreme sense and simply stop
Yeah.
thinking or acting because they believe they must stop their karma,
Yeah.
and therefore they give up living.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens.
That happens. Yes.
That happens. Life is not possible without action.
Yes.
Life means
But how does one avoid it
living
becoming...
and non-living. Both come into close contact. So life emerges with the help of living and non-living both. So as soon as you stop the action, the non-living element will be separated from your existence, and life is not possible. But you will be living. To be living and to be live are two different things. Life emerges because of the help of non-living elements. Only pure souls do not get life. It is with the help of the other agencies you get life. So life means breathing process, etc., thinking process, breathing process, all these are possible with the help of non-living elements. So life emerges with the help of other agencies. And pure soul is pure. It is not in one sense lifeless, but it is living. Consciousness is basically main factor of livingness. So we are living, but life is in that sense is not possible.
Sometimes you get angry and you do your actions, and afterwards you realize you got the karma.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Then that is also very good at least.
No.
If you couldn't stop yourself at the time of emerging some emotions and you perform some bad actions, but after all you realize that it was not good on my part. I actually should not do that thing. So that also helps to shatter the karmic material which is already attached. It helps and it minimizes many more.
But sometimes you take the action, you don't know whether it is good karma or bad karma.
Yes. Yeah. So therefore you need to learn all these things, which are good and which are bad. If everything is known to you, then you are omniscient person. You need not to go to any spiritual
Sometimes
teacher.
how do you realize it is good or bad?
See, after knowing you could realize that what I am doing is good.
For inside you, you feel it is good.
Yeah.
But the other person thinks it is bad.
So, see, there are some criteria of being good and bad. What I say, that is not always true. What you think, that is not always true. But there are some criteria, fixed criteria. According to that, you have to judge for examine whether you are right or wrong. Some people you are doing something good actually, and the other person who has some negative thinking, he can take it as a bad. So it doesn't mean that you are bad. You have to be clear whether you are right or wrong. And the criteria of right and wrong must be clear to you.
So the action you take inside you, you know that you are doing is the correct.
Yeah. What?
Sometimes you take the action.
Yeah.
But you know that you are doing the correct action.
Yeah.
Taking the correct action.
Yeah. But you must know that what is correct and
you are not doing
wrong.
any harmful things to other people.
Yeah, then it is correct.
Yeah. But the other people feel that.
Yeah, so you should always not be dependent on others' thinking.
Okay.
Your own thinking has also some value. So you have to be, why you are bothering of others only?
No. So the karma doesn't affect.
No, it doesn't affect. Because of others' thinking, it doesn't affect. Because of your own thinking and action.
But we have created a harm to him.
Yeah.
Because of disagreement.
Yeah. See, some people are very notorious, so we cannot compromise with them. So don't bother of others always. If the person is somehow sincere or serious or have some understanding, then only we can compromise with it. If he is not in such a position, then we cannot. All the time we cannot compromise with that. It is said that to please all means to get unsuccess in your life. You cannot be a good person who compromise with all. Because there are so many persons who are not, who do not deserve to compromise. We should not compromise with those people. They are wrong in themselves. So how we can compromise with them if we are right? So it is not possible. But you can get some psychological way to convince him or some other ways through which he could understand the reality. You can try for that. But if he is not in the position to understand in any way, then you leave it. Don't talk with such person.
Is the goal to stop all karma for oneself, to stop generating, attracting karma? Is that the goal? The aim is our spiritual aim to stop all karma.
Yeah, that is the.
So that would mean stopping being incarnated in a body, in a sense, wouldn't it?
Stopping means?
Stopping incarnation, stopping the net result would be having no body.
Yeah.
Yes, if you manage to stop all your karma, you cease to be attached.
As soon as you stop your own activities, you will get that there is no body.
There's no body.
It is not possible.
So
because blood circulation, breathing process, all these processes which are going on in the body, and because of that the body is sustaining or existing.
Yes.
These processes also stop.
Yes, because.
So as soon as they stop, your brain stops function, your breathing system also stops, your blood circulation system also stops. So as soon as these systems stop working, then the bodies will separate.
Yes.
So it takes not few seconds even, fractions of a second, body becomes separate from the soul.
Yes, but then moving on from there, the soul takes another body.
Yeah.
And then the whole cycle starts, cycle of karma.
Yes, but I'm saying
you want to permanently stop all the karma.
The goal is to stop. The goal, the final destination, is to stop all karma, to have no body, and then to still be living as a soul, as a
soul,
but without a physical body, not in this physical body. That's the goal. I'm just trying to understand. Okay.
Whenever we are in body, in the karmic body or physical body, lost body, we feel that we are bounded by some other entity. The soul feels that I am bounded by some other agency.
Right.
And because of that, my power is not coming out.
Right.
Original power is not coming out. It is not working. So it wants to be free from all these bondages.
Right.
And these bondages are taking place because of the action. So it intends to stop those actions which are causing these bondage. So this is the spiritual ultimate goal. But till you want to live in the body, you have to perform some activity.
Yes.
You want.
And in Jain metaphysics, is there an explanation of why it has arisen that life works in this way, that souls gather karma and become bonded, live in bondage? Is there an explanation that offers an answer to that question? Or is it a mystery? Why souls come into incarnation and gather karma and then work towards releasing the karma? Otherwise it would seem in a sense pointless that if the soul's goal is to be free of karma, why does it go through all these cycles of accumulating it? So I'm just wondering if in Jain metaphysics there's an explanation of why. Is there some ultimate purpose? Is it in a sense part of some divine process of development or evolution?
See, all the philosophies have tried to find out the answer of this problem, that why the soul has come into contact with the karmic body. So the answer is somehow or other is unanimous, that from the time of immemorial, these two elements are working together. And there is no date, no beginning, no cause of it. It is natural.
It's natural, yes.
It is natural that nothing in nature you will find no element in its pure state. It is always mixed with some other. After a process, you can separate one element from other. So yesterday we were talking about it, that our existence, why our existence is mixed with the karmic agency. What was the purpose in the beginning? So the purpose is nothing, but it is natural. It is natural. When nature comes, there is no argument. It is natural that everything is basically naturally mixed with some other agencies.
So there isn't necessarily a purpose, it is just natural, as it were.
This
is the way it is.
The bondage is natural,
yes.
But liberation can be gained by effort.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
It is natural. Bondage is natural.
And is liberation natural as well?
Liberation is not natural. It can be attained by effort.
It's attained by effort.
By process.
Right. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. So
we get gold, but it is always mixed with the soil.
Yes.
So after a process, long process and hard process, you get gold in its pure form. So likewise, soul is always mixed with body.
Yes.
So after a certain process of religious process or a spiritual process, you can get the purest form of the soul,
yes.
which is your own form. So by nature they are mixed together.
So you could maybe
there is no date of mixing.
Yes.
We cannot say that once soul was separate from the karmas and it acts and therefore it gets attachment. This is not the case. Otherwise, liberation will always be impossible. Liberated souls may also get attachment again. If soul were at some time is separate from the karma and it acts and gets attachment, so it means that the pure soul can also attract to the karma. So what will be the meaning of liberation? After liberation we can also get new karma. Is it true?
Yes.
If pure soul can attract karmas, then after liberation we can also get new karmas. Is it not true?
I think what she's saying, yes, if you assume that the argument that you were a pure soul before, because what Jain is saying is that there is no date to your existence.
Yes.
But if you assume that you were separate from the karmic material, then the argument for that myth is saying that if Siddha-shilas, if the pure souls, could also then get material, so then that argument will just break the argument that you are always part of matter, you were not a pure soul before.
Yes.
So I think that's the argument to support that you were not a pure soul before. You were always mixed with matter.
You were always mixed with matter. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so in that way you can say, I suppose, that it's natural for it to be mixed. And so if liberation is not natural, it's supernatural.
Yes, it is supernatural.
Yes.
In the
so that's a nice distinction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It is natural and that is supernatural. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, time is running fast and we are very slow in our speed. So what we have to do? Should I stop here?
Is it lot more to go?
Yeah, each one will be discussed. Each one will be discussed.
Maybe next time you should ask questions.
So, ashro, the anti-dot of the ashro is samvar. Stoppage of karma. How you can stop karma? There must be some process. If there is some process of attracting karma, then there must always be some process of stopping karma. So the same soul acts in such a way that it can stop karma. It can act in such a way that it can attract karma. It can also act in such a way that it can stop the karma. So those activities which are performed by soul for stopping the karmas are known as samvar. These are three types of actions. One action attracts karma, the second samvar stops karma, and the third one nirjara. This is also a kind of action which is performed by a living being, by a soul, to shatter karma. So we are having three types of actions in us. So these three types of actions are performed by a soul. So nirjara is a kind of partial eradication of karma, but it is also a kind of action. With the help of that action, or by that action, we get partial eradication of karma, not complete eradication. When we get complete eradication, then we attain the state of moksha. That is not liberation or emancipation. Nirjara and moksha both are not separate from each other. That is partial eradication and it is complete eradication. Moksha is nothing but the complete eradication of karma. And to attain the purest form of the soul. And because of the action of ashram, we get bondage. So bondage is also a state of the soul. Because of the ashram, the act of ashram, we get bondage of karmas. We attract karmas and get bondage. So these are the nine states of a soul. What we can say, nine truths of our soul, our worldly existence, especially our worldly existence.
The question is, can you get influx without bondage? So something is, karmic particles are coming but not binding.
Yeah, that is also possible, but when you become free from the passions, when you are not performing any action by because of anger, deceit, greed and ego. So you attract karma but you don't bind. It is only the passions which are binding, attaching karmas to the soul. They are playing the role of glue inside. If you have no anger, you have no deceit, you are free from passions, then you attract karma but don't bind. So vidra, after becoming the vidra, free from passions, the omniscient people also get attraction. They also attract karma, though auspicious karma, but they don't bind it. They don't get bondage. Those karma, because they are also preaching, they are also talking with the people, they are walking and going from one place to another. So they are performing some actions, they are taking food, they are breathing. So they are thinking, sometimes they have to think also. Those thinking is not like us, they don't need to think about or to know anything. But when they have to answer to some heavenly beings, and they use their mind also.
If you take care of the action related tattva, it automatically takes care of the other other five. Other six. If you take care of action, Rava, Samvara or Nija, it can lead to Marikis karma, demarikis karma.
So, minimum we have discussed that Jains believe that there are two realities, Jeev and Ajeev. So all the 9 can be categorized into 2, Jeev and Ajeev. Bondage, Punya, Paap and Ajeev. All these will come under Ajeev category, non-living agencies.
So bondage?
Bondage. See, from starting you can take Ajeev, Punya, Paap and bondage. These 4 come under the non-living. Ajeev, Punya, Paap and bondage. All will come under non-living.
Paap also?
Yeah, Paap is also a karmic particle. It is not the part of our consciousness. Yeah? It comes from out. It comes from out.
Just say which, because you were using the
see,
which ones are non-living?
Ajeev, non-living.
Ajeev, non-living. Yeah.
There are 2 types of realities in the whole world.
Sorry?
There are 2 types of realities in the
yes,
whole world.
Living and non-living.
Living and non-living.
Yes.
So, now we are discussing 9 types of realities.
Yes.
Though all are related to individual existence, or the existence of living beings. Yet all are 9. So how you will compromise with the number 2, minimum 2 number? So you can categorize all the 9 under 2. So Ajeev, Punya, Paap and bondage.
Yes, but it's when you say the Indian, I can't understand. So
the second one.
The second one,
the third one.
The second one, yeah.
Yes, second one, non-so,
Yeah, and the third one.
The third one.
And the fourth one.
Fourth one.
And the 8th one.
And the 8th one. Okay, that's it. I've got it.
They will come under non-living.
Yeah, got it.
And all other 5 will come under living, because all are somehow related to consciousness or living being. By soul.
Yeah.
So in this way we find that at least there are 2 realities, living and non-living, whether it is related to cosmic existence or individual existence. Realities are only of 2 types. But we can study those realities in detail, and then we can get 9 types of realities or 6 types of realities. In the context, in the case of cosmic existence, we get 6 types of realities, 6 substances, or 5 astikaras. Or in the case of individual existence, we find 9 realities. But all can be categorized again at minimum level into 2. That's it. All have some connection with each other. So, thank you. Implications of the theory and importance of the theory and what Jeev is, and number of divisions, what Jeev is, ashram. I have given some pictures also.
So in the notes,
Nirjara, what is Nirjara, how we get bondage, what is the...
It's a very big topic.
Yes. Oh,
how you liberate, now you see, this is.
Liberate, yes.
You are going to liberation.
Yes.
You are becoming free from the body and reaching there.
Yes.
So this is the purest form of the soul.
Yes. Yes.
Can you realize it?
Yes.
So now, Jai Jinendra.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And do you think the shape of the universe, this unusual shape, do you think in any way it's related to the shape of the tree?
Universe?
The universe, you know, the wish-fulfilling trees, you know, this idea of the wish-fulfilling trees and so on, the tree symbolism.
Yes. The word tattva is somehow very typical, or we can say very philosophical and not in vogue today. So I have given some other equivalent word for this, the 9 categories of truth of life. If we want to understand the life in complete sense, then we have to understand these 9 realities which are related to our life or individual existence. So, because those people who have attended this class before, they know this slide actually, but because of Praveen Bhai, I am discussing the slide again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, there are 2 fundamental questions before mankind. What is the universe in which he is living? And the second one, what is the self, or who am I? So these are long-standing queries which have been emerging from the time of immemorial in the mind of human. So to answer the 2 queries, Jain Tirthankaras have given 2 types of theories. The first one is known as the theory of 6 substance in the context of cosmic existence. If we want to understand the universe as a whole, we have to understand 6 realities, which are known as Shad-Dravya, or 5 extended realities, which Shad-Dravya. S-H-A-D? Shad, S-A-D, S-A-D, A and a dot. Okay. And D and a dot. There must be dot under D and A.
What does that mean?
Shad means 6.
Okay, 6.
Dravya means substances. So to understand the cosmic existence as a whole, we have to understand the theory of 6 substances or 5 extended realities. For that, we use the technical word Panchastika. Panch means 5, Astika means extended realities, homogeneous realities.
Why do you say extended realities? Why is it extended?
Yeah, because those 5 realities are consisting of some basic units, atoms. Therefore, it can extend in space. Yeah, but time cannot extend because it is always unitary substance in itself. The present moment is always unitary. It never combines with the past points of time and the future points of time. So it is always unitary, and therefore it cannot extend in space. And momentary also. Now, which are the 9 tattvas? We were discussing in the previous class that there are 9 realities. First one is Jiva. It means a soul or living being. Ajiv means non-soul or non-living. Punya means meritorious karma. Pap means demeritorious karma. Ashram, influx of karma, which is the cause of punya and pap. Yeah. So influx of karma. Samvad means stoppage of karma. Nirjara means partial eradication of karma. And bandh means bondage. And moksha means liberation or emancipation. When we become liberated from all the karma itself, it is known as moksha. When we become partially free from the karmic bondage, then it is nirjara. So nirjara and moksha both are correlated. It is clear? Now we are coming to the implications of the theory. Why we are accepting this theory? The theory of 9 tattva implies 2 basic principles. The beginningless and interdependent coexistence of physical and spiritual reality. when we analyze 9 tattvas, we find that the spiritual and physical realities are beginningless. They have no beginning so far as their existence is concerned, and they are interdependent. They are somehow correlated. So with the help of other, one is working. So far as our worldly existence is concerned, it is always dependent on some physical elements, and it is governed by some physical agencies. Though it is spiritual, it is also governing by its own nature, yet it has some impact of some other agencies, and therefore they are interdependent. Pure soul cannot work in the world. Likewise, pure matter cannot take gross form. With the help of the living beings, the atoms are accumulating, combining with each other and taking gross shape. So matter and soul, in their pure form, they cannot work. But if they come into contact with each other, they can create this physical world which we are looking around. Is it? So therefore, in Jain philosophy, it is said that the whole world which we are looking through our senses is either living beings, the body which is possessing living beings or soul, or the bodies which are left by some living beings. So whatever we are looking, that is made up or made by some living agencies, living forces. Nothing can be seen in this world which is pure material and made up of by itself. So the inexorable law of cause and effect which drives the universe. So now we are looking that there is some cause, and because of it the things are taking place. So whether it is happening in the case of living beings, whether it is happening in the case of material objects, all are interdependent, all are governed by cause-effect theory. And therefore science discusses this cause-effect theory extensively. It is clear? Importance of the theory. 9 principles encompasses far more than just the physical building blocks of our existence. So under 9 tattvas, we are not discussing only physical building blocks of our existence, but we are also discussing some psychical forces. So in this way, under this theory, we are taking both types of realities. And the second, they also describe what governs our action, what determines our feeling, and how much energy we have at our disposal, irrespective if these factors affect us directly or indirectly. And the third is, they give us practical key how to steer our life for more efficiently than ever before, and how to become aware of previously unknown activities of our consciousness. And the fourth one, right worldview about the world and life is attained when one understands these 9 truths of life. So this is the first condition to get the enlightened worldview, to understand the nature of 9 tattvas. Samyak darshan, tattvata shuddhanam samyak darshanam. So until and unless we know the realities of our life, we cannot get the right worldview or samyak darshan about how to lead our life. Now we are coming what the living being is, what Jeev is. Jeev means the worldly existence of soul. We are not discussing the pure existence of soul under the concept of Jiva. Under the concept of Jeev, we are discussing only the worldly existence of soul. So what is that? But we are also going to discuss some basic fundamental qualities of living being or soul and a jiva. So what is jiva? So you can see sometimes we say jiva, sometimes we say soul, sometimes we use the word living being. So all are synonymous expressions. We should not confuse by different words.
And the synonymous we use as sentient. Is that also?
Yeah, sentient. You can say animate. These are a few words which are quite synonymous, and you can understand.
Is GS28? Bracket में
Tattva Sutra.
Tattva Sutra
yeah. Yes. Yes. The second, soul in its pure state is endowed with 4 qualities shown in the picture. Each living being, whether it is worldly living being or liberated living being, all have these 4 basic fundamental qualities which are only possessed by a living substance. These are the basic qualities of soul: knowledge, intuition, bliss and energy. They are only found in a living being and not in any non-living element. So through knowledge, whatever we are experiencing, feeling, all are related to soul. Body doesn't experience. In that body we don't get any experience. That body doesn't feel anything. If it is touched by fire, with fire, it doesn't feel that I am burning. It is only the living being which feels that I am burning. So feelings and sensation and any kind of experience we get through this living consciousness, by the consciousness. So it is the attribute of soul only. It is not an attribute of any non-living or inanimate object. So these are only confined to soul. Consciousness is the defining character of the soul, and therefore it is accepted that consciousness is only the defining characteristic of a soul. On the basis of consciousness, on the basis of the knowledge property, we can differentiate a soul from non-soul elements. There may be some energy, we are having some energies. The non-conscious elements are also having some energy. On the basis of energy, we cannot differentiate soul and non-soul. But on the basis of knowledge, you can differentiate that it is living and it is non-living.
So why didn't you put consciousness in the circle?
Consciousness is consisting of 2 elements. See, knowledge and intuition both are the part of consciousness. Consciousness reflects in the form of knowledge, consciousness reflects in the form of intuition. So in one word we say consciousness. In 2 words you can say knowledge and intuition or perception. Sometimes intuition or perception, both are equivalent to each other. Now, soul is neither body nor sense organ, mind and vital energy. Sometimes people misguide or mistake as body, sense organ, mind and vital energy. Sometimes people think that I am Chaitanya Pragya, means this body is known as Chaitanya Pragya. So they sometimes mistake body as the soul. So body is not soul, because sometimes the body separates even though we are existing as a soul. So body is always not with us. We can be without body. So body is not soul. Likewise, mind is also not soul. Mind is the apparatus of thinking. Is an instrument of thinking, and which is found only in body, with body. And there are so many living beings which are having no mind, from 1 sense to 4 sensed, or sometimes 5 sensed beings have no mind, who are living in the form of animal beings. So only human beings and some celestial celestial beings and what we say heavenly beings, those have mind. And some animal beings also have mind. But most of the living beings have no mind. So mind cannot be equivalent to soul. And vital energy which is working in the body, and with the help of that our sense organs and mind etc. are working, functioning, but that cannot also be equivalent to soul. It is always comes into existence when soul and body both come into close contact. No, it is not related. It is the result of the combination of two elements, living and non-living. So as soon as both separate, it goes away.
Like you say, you can increase your vital energy.
Yeah, vital energy, it helps to attain some spiritual achievements. But vital energy is somehow physical power. With the help of living substance, it generates in body.
So this energy this energy is not a physical power of it, because it's part of the soul.
Yes.
Then how does that energy appear to work?
Yes. See, soul has some energy, that is also a kind of energy, and matter has also some energy, but that is a physical energy. Vital energy is somehow the combination of both the energies. The energy which is working at the level of physical body.
So it's the karma part of it, and this energy linking will make the movement. Without karma, it will not be able to make movement. It will be, because the soul itself never does any activity at all, but through this energy and through its knowledge, like you say, vital energy, that will make with the karma and the body, with the Pragyaji, it will create a movement. So this energy is really the driving energy. But not the physical energy.
It is. It can be said somehow psychological forces. The body and the mind, what is consciousness or soul, both are working together. And that energy which is coming from soul and working at physical level, with the help of physical substances or material objects, that energy is known vital energy.
So it will be just like intuition energy or intuition power will give the thinking power also. So this energy will be giving movement power, but itself has no movement at all.
It has no. So, both are, so vital energy is not purely what we say the part of soul, but it is a power which is working with the help of the physical energy. So it is somehow physical in nature. And we can say that we have three types of bodies. One is cross body, and other we are having two more bodies. So the second body, which is known as Tejas Sharir, luminous body or bioelectric body, so vital energy is mainly related to our luminous body. It is the energy which is coming out of that body. Body doesn't work without the help of the conscious element. And so it is known as vital energy. But it is coming out of the luminous body. That is helping to function all our organs and mind. That is the subtlest body and cause of all other bodies. It is something beyond and can be known either through inference or through intuition.
And
the soul.
All souls have a luminous body. So even when we're talking about the souls of plants and so on, they have a luminous body, and they have a karmic body as well.
The three bodies are essential to each and every living being, whether it is one-sensed or five-sensed, no matter. Because they need physical power, they need karmic body to live in world, and this gross body is also required to fulfill their worldly needs. With the help of the gross body, they can fulfill their worldly needs.
And is there a concept of awakening, so that, for instance, you would say the soul in a human body is somehow self-aware, whereas the soul in a plant, for instance, is not aware in the same way, is not awoken in some way.
Yes, there are three types of, three levels of consciousness in worldly existence. One is undeveloped, second one is underdeveloped, and third one is developed. So the one sensed beings under which plants, earth, fire, air, and vegetables, fire, air, vegetable, and water, and earth. All these are known as one sensed living beings. So they are quite undeveloped living beings. So they have no so clear-cut feelings. Yet they have some feelings, but they cannot express, therefore we couldn't know that they are feeling or not. But as soon as some person who is going to cut a plant is going to a plant, the plant will feel that he is coming to cut me, and he expresses some feeling of fear because of that person, presence of that person. So that is also observed or measured by scientists, with some help of the dynamometer, some types of
But these three bodies you are mentioning are still the fine bodies. They are not the gross body yet. Because they are fine bodies, sukshma.
Out of three, only two are subtle or fine.
Or two are subtle. And one is tejas, one is karma, and the other one? Audaric is
the
big
the
one.
gross one.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are two more bodies, Aharakshari and Tejashari, Vyakriya-shari.
Leshya also? Leshya?
No, Leshya comes under some other.
Different also.
It is somehow different. So Tejashari, so gods and goddesses have Vyakriya-shari. They can take different shapes at different times. So this type of body in which they can take different forms, that body is known as Vyakriya-shari. The body which can take different forms according to your desire, according to your will, that body comes under the category of Vyakriya-shari, which can take different forms.
And that's a subtle body?
No, it is God's body. But gods and goddesses are having such body.
Okay.
We people generally do not have such body. By spiritual special practices, you can attain such type of body. But that works for a time being. Mainly you are associated with this gross marriage, which remains as it is. It doesn't take different forms. But through spiritual practice, you can get such. And there is one more body, Ahara body, that is known as a communication body. Aharakshari. So that is also gross body. It can be perceived by some other beings. It is somehow finer in comparison to Audaric-shari and Vyakriya-shari. It is somehow finer. Yet it also comes under gross body. So it is communication body. With the help of this body, the omniscient in the people who have some extrasensory perception and ordinary knowledge, they get such type of a spiritual attainment. With the help of that attainment, they can make such body, and with the help of this subtle body, they can communicate with omniscient persons who are at distant. So if they have some special queries and they want to know the correct answer, and they are not the omniscient people are on the earth, but they are far. So how he can communicate with them? So with the help of these communication bodies, it is known as aharakshari technically, they communicate with omniscient persons.
It's sort of temporary.
Yeah, it is also temporary. With the, only it is meant for the purpose of communication. As soon as the communication finishes, it goes away. So this body is not available at present time, and nobody can attain it easily. Only in the presence of omniscient person, some people had such power and they made. But nowadays it is not. So the existence of soul cannot be perceived because it has no color, it has no smell, it has no taste, and it has no odor. So with the help of sense organs or mind, you cannot see whether the soul is existing or not. But through inference, you can know that we are functioning, we are speaking, we are getting knowledge. So all these properties are not somehow related to body, and there must be some other element which is having such qualities, and that is known as soul. So there are so many arguments. On the basis of that, we can infer the existence of soul separate from body. And intuition. Intuition means if you have some extrasensory perceptions, for example, avidya, clairvoyance, or telepathy, or bigger than these two knowledges, which is known as omniscience. So if you have attended such extrasensory perceptions, so that you can directly know that soul is existing. It is quite separate from body. How many souls are in the world? So there are some philosophies which accept that there is only one soul. All other souls which we are looking in the universe are the part and parcel of the one soul. So they are not having separate independent existence actually. They are one, and that is Brahma, according to Vedanta philosophy. But so far as Jainism is concerned, it accepts that no, each soul has its own independent existence. They are not part of Brahma. They are having same nature as the Brahma or God has. So you can see that all are one in that sense, because all are having same nature. But so far as the particular or individual existence is concerned, it is not a part of any other soul. Each soul has its own particular existence.
This question of all souls are similar, or are they identical, or they are totally different from each other?
Yeah.
So which one is it? Are they similar, or are they identical?
Yeah.
Similar means 90%, 99% they are very similar, but all places they are slightly different.
Yeah.
Others may be totally replica of another cell, exactly like that one, identical.
Yeah.
Or the third one is that each soul is totally different from the other soul. Which one is right?
Yeah. So far as Jain's view is concerned about the similarity and dissimilarity or difference and identity of the souls, Jains believe that all souls are identical, come different.
By its nature.
Come different.
Identical.
Yeah, both. They are
Same
different.
and different
Yeah.
at the same time. Okay, so it's paradoxical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both,
Can
both
I
are.
just speak a bit loudly?
C-U-M.
I'm becoming deaf now.
Yeah.
I have to go for my appointment. I'm becoming very deaf.
Jains are always non-absolutistic in their approach. Non-absolutistic. They are following the principle of Anekant.
Yeah.
They are applying philosophy of Anekant to everywhere to understand the nature of reality. So according to Jainism, all souls are identical as well as different. Identical as well as different. Not 90% or 10% differences. But all are equally identical all are equally different from each other. So far as the basic fundamental nature is concerned, all souls have the same nature. That is, all souls are having infinite knowledge, infinite intuition, infinite bliss, and infinite energy, spiritual energy, mysterious energy. So all are same, and therefore you will find that all human beings have some or other way same nature.
So the basic substance of the soul is identical, or the substance is different, or is that variation because
the nature is identical. The nature of all.
The substance is the original dravya.
Yeah.
Is almost is not almost but identical. That dravya is same dravya.
Yeah. All are made up of same substances.
Okay.
Yeah. And therefore having same nature.
Then the second
The difference is dependent on our karmic agency with which we are associated.
So presume the difference comes from the experience of that soul through their many incarnations.
Yeah.
The soul develops a uniqueness, as it were, as a result of its experiences and its karma and so on. Yeah. Would you say, is that where the uniqueness comes from the soul's journey through many lives?
Uniqueness.
Apart from that, I think each soul.
We say that each lifetime, each bhavana, it acquires a different karma, so it changes the nature of the soul each time according to the experiences of the karmas. Whatever karmas it experiences, next time those extra karmas makes it different from the previous life. So the soul is changing all the time. Basic remaining same, but experiences are added to it. So that's the question?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. The fundamental nature is the same of all the souls. But as soon as you are associated with the karmic agency, if it has more effect on you, you will get less knowledge and less intuition power, which is inherent, which can be undeveloped or underdeveloped state. But as soon as you dissociate karmic agency, you get more unique experiences which are coming from within the soul. All souls have the same nature, yet because of the presence of karmic matter inside, it is somehow covered. And as soon as you get dissociation of those karmic agencies, you get the real nature of the soul from within, which is quite similar to each other.
So the life and the soul, the three souls are identical?
Yeah, they are identical. But so far as their particular identity is concerned or individual existence is concerned, all souls are different from each other. I am different from you. You are different from some other person. Otherwise, why we are getting births in different times? Why we are suffering from differently? We all have not equal, or same problems, mental problems, physical problems, emotional problems, or existential problems.
But if you take away the karmic portion,
then we all are identical, but at the same time we are different because my soul is not part of your soul, or the part of some supreme soul. So we all are different at the same time. Having same nature, yet we are different in our own existence. So existence is quite different from other.
And is it like going back to moksha, the liberated soul?
Yeah.
Like the soul of Samaniji, it is identical, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Soul of Krishna,
no difference. No difference.
I think I find it easy to understand this is, say if you have flags, there is a festival here, all the flags are the same white or red color, identical in shape, size, everything, but they exist, each one of them is different. But if you look at this flag on that flag, it's the same. There's no difference. Yeah. But each one of these is still different.
It's the size is different. Different.
Yeah, it's exactly.
It is the difference of existence only. I have different identity existence and you have different existence. So we are different at the level of existence, but not at the level of nature. Nature we are having same. We are made up of same element. The basic element is the same. That all souls are made up of some conscious atoms, conscious units. So all are having innumerable conscious atoms, out of which our soul is consisting of.
So if I take one example,
yeah,
that if I got 1,000 drops of water, pure water, distilled, pure, clean water,
yeah,
then I've got 1,000 drops in a glass or in a jar.
Yeah.
Those 1,000 drops are there, they exist as a drop, but once it's mixed in, the drops can split, half of this drop can join with half of the... If the drops have boundaries on them, then each drop can be different drop, and they still exist. But if the drops mixed as one big lot of drop, then there is no separate identity for the drops. All the drops are identical, and there is a fluidity. What you're saying is that there is no fluidity between the souls. Do the souls have boundaries between them to keep them separately identical? What you see? Because we are given the example that there is the ocean and all the rivers go into it, like each soul enters into the sea, and it all becomes part. Every drop is a separate drop, but yet it is totally merged into the sea. So here we have...
So according to Jains, each soul has its own boundary. It never mixes up with others. It remains always separate from others.
Through eternity.
Having same nature, yet they are having some boundary. They cannot mix up with others.
Through all time, as it were.
Through all time.
Through all time. Beginningless, endless.
You can find infinite living beings at the point of the needle, the top part of the needle. You can get infinite living beings, but all are having separate bodies. All are having separate bodies. At least certain bodies are separate. Gross body may sometimes one, but the certain bodies are quite separate from each other, and therefore their existence is always separate from each other.
And when they share...
We never merge.
Never merge. So you're saying that symbol of the drops, the drops merging with it. That in Jainism that doesn't...
Different. We never lose our identity. Particular identity we never lose.
Okay.
We don't emerge in any other elements.
So let me ask him, is the idea the subtle bodies at some point fall away? When you achieve moksha, the karmic body disappears. Disappears. The luminous body disappears.
It also disappears. Yes. But as soon as the karmic body disappears, the luminous body also disappears.
The luminous body. And what is left? Is there a body left that creates this boundary? Is there a soul body or some? Yes.
So soul is consisting of infinite conscious atoms. Asankhya Pradeshi.
So what remains is the soul
consisting of innumerable conscious units. So that is the main stuff of the soul. That is the main material of soul, which is always, which remains always as it is. It never gets affected by any other elements, whether it is body or some other living being. In spite of undergoing so many things.
Soul substance is there. But that substance does not occupy space just like a matter occupies the space. Because multiple souls can exist in the same place.
Infinite
number of them.
Yes, so beyond matter.
It's like light. That if I got a 1,000 watt lamp or 2,000 watt lamp and 3,000 watt lamp or number of lamps, but the same light can exist in the same volume. Similarly, the souls can exist in the same volume, at the same space.
It is a spiritual energy which doesn't need space as such. Which exists in a space, yet it doesn't create any obstacle to other substances, soul substances, to remain, to stay at the same place.
Yes.
That's the main material of soul.
And that is conscious atoms, conscious atoms. Yeah. चैतन्यमय परमाणुओं का पिंड है. आत्मा क्या है? चैतन्यमय परमाणु, असंख्य परमाणुओं का पिंड है.
असंख्य परमाणु का
पिंड है.
Innumerable,
not infinite, innumerable. Yeah.
Very fine particles, very fine particles.
It is a homogeneous entity which is made up of innumerable conscious atoms. The speciality of the atoms is this, that they never dissociate from each other. They always remain in association with each other. So therefore soul is always of innumerable consciousness.
And what do you mean by homogeneous?
Homogeneous means which takes space, horizontal space to accommodate in a space. So it is a horizontal. It is what it can be spread in a space point, some more than one space point. So that entity is known as homogeneous.
So what are the four knowledge? Infinite intuition, infinite bliss,
infinite knowledge, and infinite energy. That energy is
intuition, knowledge, energy.
Knowledge.
Yeah. So we are looking here that the souls are innumerable according to not innumerable, infinite. Each soul is consisting of innumerable conscious atoms, and such souls are infinite in number. All the infinite number of souls can be categorized into two categories. One is sansari and the second one is mukta. So sansari means transmigratory and mukta means liberated souls. So there are two types of souls in the whole universe. One is transmigratory, which is taking birth and death, and transmigrates one birth to another, from one birth to another. So we come under this. All the living beings from one sense to five sense come under transmigratory souls, and the souls which are free from the body and karmic bondage come under the mukta. They are liberated souls. So under the transmigratory, we again find two types of living beings. One is thrust, which is mobile, and sthava means immobile. So under immobile, we get five kinds of living beings: earth-bodied, water-bodied, fire-bodied, air-bodied, and plants, vegetable kingdom. And under the thrust, who can move from one place to another, who can protect themselves in a critical situation by going or moving from one place to another. So those souls come under thrust, and they are 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, and 5 sense. So in this way we are getting such type of living beings which are found in the universe in which we are living.
What is that liberated mean?
That's here. Actually,
it's there typing the computer.
Computer.
Transmigratory, what's the word?
Sansari. S-A-N-S-A-R-I. So because of the diacritical mark, they are converting here. Is it clear?
Yes.
So in this way, all souls have different existence. Otherwise, if we have same existence, then why one is 1 sense and other is 2 sense? If all are identical, 100% identical, then we all have either 1 sense or 2 sense or 3 sense or 4 sense, and all have to take birth in the same time. All should die at one time. If all are one, totally identical, so we are different in our existence. Therefore, I am taking birth in some time, you are taking in some other time. I am dying in some time, some other is dying at some other time. All have different physical, different senses. I have 5 senses, some other has 4 senses, some other has 3 senses. So it shows that our existence is not same. We are separate from each other. And therefore, according to our deeds, according to our karmas, we are taking the different forms of body, different mental and physical abilities. So these all are the indications why we are having different senses, why we are having different mental and physical development, why we are having different types of problems with us, because our existence is separate from each other according to my deeds. I am living these different things, and because of your karmas, you are getting different things. Otherwise, all must have the same situation. All must have same body, same development. But that is not found.
So whether it's 2 sense or 5 sense,
yeah,
all of them have got capacity for infinite intuition, bliss, knowledge, and energy.
Energy.
But
from one sense to liberated.
So
the liberated one is perfect soul. Under worldly existence we find undeveloped, underdeveloped, or developed. And the liberated ones are known as perfect soul.
Which is the Tirthankar?
Yeah, Tirthankar are also not so much perfect because they are having body. Yeah, they are perfect in their knowledge.
Yeah.
But so far as their existence is concerned, it is somehow bound with karmic agencies.
Even in
it is not free from body.
Okay.
Yes, Siddhas are somehow can be said as perfect souls. Yes, omniscient can also be understood in that category, perfect soul. But so far as the body is concerned, they are having some body, and therefore they are in bondage. They have shattered 4 karmas, but the 4 other karmas are remaining with them. So as soon as they get liberation from worldly existence, all the 4 karmas get dissociation.
And then they would no longer have a body, they would be beyond the body.
Yeah, they become beyond the body when they liberate from the worldly existence.
So you say Tirthankaras still have karmic particles?
Yeah, they have karmic particles, 4 types of karmic particles, because they are having body, and body is also product of karma.
So can they manifest those karmic particles?
They are manifesting, and because of that they are having body. Yeah, they are taking birth in some family, in some society. So because of those karmas, birth is also governed by karmic agency, and body is also made up of karma, karma. So in this way they are having body, therefore they are having, and they get some pleasing and painful state also. So Vaidya karma is also with them, and Gotra karma, that is also associated with them, and one more karma, Aisha karma, because of lifespan they are they are living the life of human being. So lifespan is also determined by karma. So all these, as long they are in the worldly existence, they are always associated with these 4 karmas: Nam, Gotra, Ayush, and Vedani. So after liberation, they automatically become free from all these 4. They are responsible for worldly existence. These 4 karmas are especially responsible for our worldly existence. As long we are in worldly existence, they will always be with us. Nam, Gotra, Vedani, and Ayush. So these 4 karmas are responsible for our worldly existence. They do not affect our spiritual qualities, but they are causing our worldly existence. Because of that, we are getting body, etc.
Would you say the image of is it this Siddha Pratyaya Yantra, the image that is reversed out of a sheet of metal of the Tirthankar, that symbolizes in a sense that final stage of being freed from karma, so that the body no longer exists, and yet the unique soul is
so I'll show you that unique soul. I don't know actually, but I have symbolized it.
Okay.
under the last slide. Yeah. What ajiv is? So under ajiv we can discuss all the non-living elements which the living being also takes the help of, which 5 elements. But dharmastika, the medium of motion, the medium of rest. Akashastika means space. Udgalastika means matter and energy, physical matter, physical energy. And adha samay or kal, you can say in technical words, which means time.
What is adha samay?
Adha samay is the name for time in canonical age. It was in vogue in canonical age. Later on, when philosophical age comes, the word kal is used, and nowadays in English we use for this time. So adha kal is not separate from time. It is in vogue in canonical age. Most of the time Lord Mahavira used to say that adha samay. Adha samay means time. It is
this medium of motion and medium of rest.
Yeah.
Karmas give the movement.
Yeah.
And this is the medium. So are the karmas connected with this medium?
See, any movement which is going on in the universe, in our body or in any other part of the universe or in any other elements. So every movement requires some helping force, and that force is recognized by the Tirthankaras as the Dharmastika. With the help of this medium of motion, all objects, whether animate or inanimate, are moving. So movement is going on with the help of this element. Why it was required? Because we are looking that every element is vibrating and what is the functioning, or there is some physical movement, and there are no other mediums which are helping to move. But there must be some element which, without help of which nothing can move. So that medium is identified as Dharmastika by Lord Mahavira. In science, you will get the idea of ether. When the scientists found that there is some movement or motion, but before that they were thinking that there is medium of motion, air is the medium of motion, and with the help of air everything is going or moving. But when they found that there is no air in a room, and even though light is spreading from one corner to another, so what is the medium of motion in the absence of air? And in search of that medium, they found that there must be some element which is helping to move the objects, and that was recognized as ether. But in the time of Einstein, the experiments were made, and they found that there is no such type of element in the universe. It is only the space which is helping to move one object to another, from one place to another. But Eddington, another scientist, he said that it might be that there is no such physical element which is helping in motion, but there must be some non-physical element which is helping in movement. So we can remove physical ether as physical element or physical medium of motion, but we cannot remove ether as non-physical medium of motion. So in this way, scientists are also supposing that there must be some non-physical element which is helping in movement in the universe, and with the help of that, certain things are also going from one place to another in the absence of some other media of movement, such as air, etc. So you can see that how 2,600 years before Lord says that there is one element which is helping in the universe in the movement of all the animate and inanimate objects, whether there is air or not, but it is all available everywhere. Where is the physical or non-physical elements are found, you will also found this element which is helping in motion, in their motion. So Dharmastika is the medium of motion. It is non-physical, non-material, and spread over the whole universe, whole cosmos. And therefore, atoms are passing from one place to another without any help of some other gross mediums of motion. So in the world of in the subtle world, all the movements are going on with the help of this medium.
So karma particles are not playing the role of providing this medium or in the movement. Movement is provided by this medium.
Yeah, by this.
But not the karma particle.
No. See, you have to see that it is a medium, but the real movement is found in living and non-living elements. So, and especially the movement is the quality of matter. Motion is the quality of matter. It is inherent quality of matter. Whenever one particle wants to move from one place to another, it has some external agency in moving, and that agency is Dharmastika. But it doesn't mean that it is giving motion. Motion is already in atom. It moves from one place to another. The work of medium of motion is only this, that it can support. Whenever one atom wants to pass on from one place to another, it can help. It is a neutral element. It doesn't motivate. It is a neutral element.
Because all matter, of course, is moving all the time, isn't it? It's vibrating, and the electrons and protons and everything.
Yeah.
So is the medium of motion, could you say it's vibration, or it's the actual movement of particles of matter, or is it somehow a medium in which that occurs?
Yeah, I think the classic example given in the books is like an ocean, and a fish wants to move through the ocean.
Yeah.
So the fact that the fish wants to move, it's a fish's wish.
Yeah.
But it needs the water to move. A fish cannot move in the air.
Yeah.
So the water is actually the medium. And so that's the Dharmastika, the water. But the actual process of moving and the actual thinking that I want to go from here to here is the fish's own independent wish.
Yeah. So from
vibrating is actually connected to the matter. It's not to do with the medium.
say it again.
The
vibrating of the protons and electrons.
That's also independent. That is own
independent.
independent.
Energy. That is the energy of the material.
Of the material. So this is the medium through. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They are vibrating by themselves because of the very nature of the atom, but the external agency which is helping, that is the It is a neutral element. It doesn't motivate.
Yeah.
It doesn't inspire anything to move.
I
The
think
things
more
are moving
like
by
a lubrication.
themselves.
Yes.
It's like a lubrication. Everything is in fluid, kept at fluid level, so that you can pass through.
Yes.
Or there may be another kind of fluidity which stops it, that it in its place. The second one, I'm trying to interpret it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Dharmastika is also an independent element which is working in the universe, and it is spread throughout the universe, cosmos, and one another. Just anti to it is Adharmastika. Whenever we want to stop, we need some external force for that, and that force is known as Adharmastika according to Jain. It is also non-physical, non-material, and spread throughout the universe because the motion is going on throughout the universe, and therefore we require this force in every part or in every corner of the universe, and therefore it is also extended to. It is extensive with the cosmic space.
One last question now, sorry.
Yeah.
Dharmastika is like the word dharma means its true nature, and adharma is something opposite of its nature.
Yeah.
Does that have any significance, or is only significance related to motion and rest?
Yes. See, here dharma and adharma do not, stand for such a meaning.
Yeah.
It is the technical name of
It's just the
an
motion
animal.
and stopping.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Okay. That
We don't go in the meaning.
Yeah, okay.
So, now Akashastika means space. Space has some special quality, one special quality, that is the accommodation. It accommodates everything, whether living or non-living. So we all are existing in a space. Sometimes we see that we are existing in a house, in a building, but where the building is existing, you can say that it is existing on earth, but where earth is existing, it also needs some accommodation. So ultimately you will go and you will find that there is a space, and in space everything is existing, everything is accommodated. So without a space nothing can exist. So space provides accommodation to all objects. Pudgalastika is matter and energy. So we have closed the relation with matter and physical energies. So we are closely related to this element, though we are also moving and taking help of the Dharmastika. We are sometimes we stop, we concentrate our mind. So we need Dharmastika also. Akash we also need because we are existing in, but Buddhal is closely associated with us. Our existence is closely associated with matter and physical energy. So in the form of bodies and some material objects. And Akash, the last one is Ardhakal or Ardha Samay or Kal, that is time. So time is also working for affecting our own existence. So in this way we find there are some non-living elements, non-living elements which are closely associated with the living being, and with the help of those, our worldly existence is going on. And so I wrote here that out of the five five non-soul.
Five coma. Soul mainly interacts with. There are two separate. Out of five, above five.
Oh, yes.
Five above. Soul,
yes.
coma. Soul
Yes.
mainly interacts with.
Interacts with matter, especially with karmic matter, and therefore with entire material world. Now we are coming to Ashra. What is that cause which is attracting karma, which are helping to attach karmas to our soul? So there is one great cause which is in every soul, especially worldly souls, and that is recognized as ashram. Ashram is generally defined as the doors. Sometimes ashram means doors, dwar, out of which something is coming in. So, doors. If ashram literally means doors. But these doors are not the doors in general sense. These are the doors of karmic inflow. Because of that, karmas are coming in, which means the conditions of the inflow of karma is the inflow of karmic matter into the soul takes place on account of the soul's activities. So these activities themselves are also regarded as ashram. The former is known as Dravya ashram, while the later is Bhava ashram. So we have two types of concept of ashram. One is Dravya and second one is Bhav. So the activities, because of that karmic material is being attracted to soul, that activity is performed by soul, and that comes under Bhav ashram. But the karmic material which is coming in is known as Dravya ashram. So ashram, both are ashram. The inflow of karmas is also known as ashram, and the activities which are causing the inflow of karmas is also known as ashram, but that will come under Bhav ashram. It means it is somehow related to consciousness, soul. It is part of soul, and Dravya ashram means it is related to karmas, karmic agency. So in these two ways we can understand. It is like the water falling into the pool as shown in the following picture. You can see by this picture, Acharya Bhikshu, who is the first Acharya of Theravada sect, he has given one example that how karmas are coming in. So you can suppose that ashram is a kind of tape, and through which the water is coming into the pool. The soul is a pool, and the karmas are coming in through our activities. So it represents activity. Through activity, karmas are getting in and they are entering into the soul.
This dravya is made up of what? Is it dravya of the karma or dravya of what? Dravya has to be some substance. What dravya is that?
See, the karmic particles are known as dravya ashra. And the activities of the soul are coming under the bhav ashra.
So the bhav comes from the soul.
Yeah.
And dravya is the karmic particles.
Karmic particles which are coming from outside. So through activity, karmic particles enter into the soul. So you can see that soul is like a pond, in which the karmic particles are entering through
so
activity.
I can understand like
with
this
the help
one,
of activity.
that bhav is like a water pump at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it is pulling the bhav is sucking, that's the energy we are talking about in the soul.
Yeah.
That energy is this bhav energy, which then lets this thing, karma particles, to fall into the soul. It goes into the tank, and the tank is being filled in now, the karma particles.
The karma particles.
Good, yes.
Yeah. Now, types of ashra. Which are those activities which are causing the inflow of karmas? So, ashra. So there are 5 types of such activities which are found in a living being, and those activities are causing the inflow of karma. And one is deluded worldview. Whenever we are engaged in some non-truth, so because of engaging in non-truth, whenever we are apart from, we are far from realities, truth, then what happens? We engaged in something which is not true, which is wrong, and therefore we call this some karmic particles. Being engaged in non-truth or what we say, wrong activities, or being not acquainted with the realities, sometimes we perform something which is not good. Non-abstinence. We have some non-abstinence desire, we have no control over it, and because of that we perform some activities and we get karma. Laxity. There is some laxity, negligence in us. We know many more things even though we commit mistakes again and again. So that laxity is also main cause of attracting karma.
So that's pramad.
Passion, pramad. Laxity, negligence or unawareness. So many more things we know, yet we don't follow it because of negligence, because of laxity on our part, and therefore we commit such mistakes again and again and attract karma. And the next is passion. So we have anger, pride, deceit, ego, etc. And because of that we get conflicts in our life, struggles with some other person, and get new karma. So patience are main cause of karma.
What is the Sanskrit word for patience?
Kashaya.
Kashaya.
Action, yoga. First is mithyatva, then avrat, pramad, kashaya and yoga. So if we have no patience, even though we can attract karma because of action, if we are performing any kind of action, whether it is mental or physical or vocal, you will attract karma. So after getting a dissociation of from all 4 karmas, even omniscient people also attract karmas because they are performing some good action even. Yet because of action, they are getting some new karmas, though they do not remain for a longer time, just they come and go away. So they don't need to put special effort to dissociate them. So after becoming patient, you can also have some cause to attract karmas, that is action. So unless you stop your action, you will not be free from the bondage of karma forever. It is. So there are 5 types of activities which are found in a living being, and because of that we are getting new karmic bondage. punya and pap. So now we are coming to another. See, first I have to deal according to the order. We have to deal with this, but because of ashram, we are getting sometimes punya karma, sometimes pap karma. If we perform good action, we attract punya karma. If we perform some bad action, then we get pap karmas. So karmas are attracting because of our good and bad activity. So good and bad, both type of activities come under the ashram, and because of that activities we get two types of karmic matter from outside. One is known as punya and the second one is pap. So the auspicious karma attracted by good actions is called punya, that is merit. The inauspicious karma attracted by evil actions is called pap, that is demerit. So here you can see it represents, stands for good activity, it stands for bad activity, and because of that we are getting auspicious karma, because of that getting inauspicious karma. So both types of activities are performed by a living being. In this they get punya and pap. Now there are so many types of punyas and pap. Actually these are the different activities, good activities and bad activities. Which are good activities, which are bad activities, that are also explained in Jain scriptures. Which type of activities you perform in the name of punya. So there are 9 types of good activities: offering of food to a monk, offering of drink to a monk, offering of shelter and clothes, bad, homage, meritorious thought, means positive thinking, then positive speech and positive action, which is free from violence, etc. So all come under the good activities, and by that you get punya karma.
What about offering food to the monk?
Normal people, that is your social duty only. See, that creates karmas, but that those karmas, according to Jain scriptures, are inauspicious and not auspicious.
Inauspicious.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I was reading in the little booklet on the Therapant Sacrament. It's very interesting. So offering food to a monk creates auspicious karma.
Yeah.
Offering food to a starving person is inauspicious?
Inauspicious.
It's very strange. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me.
See, whenever you offer anything to a religious monk, a spiritual monk, it means you are supporting spirituality, non-violence, etc. So you are strengthening spiritual values by offering that. And second thing, that whenever you offer to anything to a spiritual or religious monk, it means you are not performing any kind of violence in his name or offering. So whenever we offer anything to a householder, at that time we have to we are supposed to cook for them, etc. So we are creating some violence in the name of cooking or offering. So therefore it causes violence. And third one is that actually these are the main 2 reasons.
But suppose you cook food anyway, there's extra food.
But that person is not non-violent actually. He is a householder, and whenever he will, he has to do some work for his in the name of his family duties and his needs, and that creates some kind of violence, etc. So he cannot be nourished in that way as a monk can be.
Instead of offering the food, you show him the right way of earning a living. Discuss with him, teach him or whatever, and put him in the right path. Is it not auspicious?
Even though he is a householder, and being a householder, he cannot be free from necessary violence.
Okay,
so you are supporting a person who is violating living beings. So that's why this type of offering is not regarded as auspicious, because somehow or other it is directly or indirectly it is helping to violate some other living.
So you move away from that situation.
You should not move away, because being a social being, it is your duty to help others.
Yes, so for
So
instance,
don't take everything as religious. When you are living a social life, you should not take everything as in the name of religion.
Because Acharya Mahapragya puts emphasis on social responsibility.
Yeah. But that doesn't come under the spirituality. That comes always as social duty. Being a social being, it is your duty to help others. If you have money, you are consuming, why you cannot give it to others? You can.
But if it's inauspicious, say for instance there's a flood in India, and so I know that Jain organizations will create a charity and they will give money to help people and all that. Are they, if you give money to that charity, will you be creating inauspicious karma?
I think you're getting confused with this inauspicious.
See,
anything which you do in the name of religion would be auspicious. Anything you do as a social duty, it's your duty to do it. But you cannot mix spirituality with your social duty. So you'll still get punya for doing that. But the actual activity is inauspicious, because you're not helping on a religious people. So if you're helping monks and nuns who are following the path of non-violence, then that's auspicious activity.
The path of spirituality and the path of society is quite different from each other. Yeah? So by one action you cannot get the result of both. So social duty is somehow different from the spiritual one. Otherwise, why you are all discussing the spirituality? If the concept of spirituality is somehow social, then why you are discussing this? So we are nowadays, so far as the punya and pap and spirituality is concerned, these are mainly spiritual issues. So don't try to understand these things in the terms of society or social duty. Social duty is somehow social, and it is also your responsibility. We never deny that you should not do. Even Tirthankar cannot say that you should not offer anything to the persons who are needy. They cannot. If they say such type of thing, they also commit some mistakes. This is also a kind of violence. Because the person who is needy, he cannot earn his own bread. If you have, you can provide. If I deny that you should not, say I am also committing a violence. Because that person without bread, he can die at one day. So to help each other, that is our social duty, but that doesn't come under the spirituality. It has no relation or no connection with the purity of the self. Religion is always for the purity of the self, development of the self. So it has no direct relation with the purity of the self. It is only a helping factor of the society, for the society. So whenever we live, one person earns and all the other persons of family, they use the money which is earned by one person, so that is the social factor. It has no relation that because he is nourishing other 10 persons in the family and therefore he is getting more and more punyas. That is not the issue. It is social part of life.
Just one question.
Yeah.
The time is running fast.
Yeah.
So if you put a money in a bandar temple, for giving it to a beggar, which is more auspicious?
See, if you don't need any name and fame in the name of donation, then it comes under auspicious. But if you are attached with the name and fame, then it doesn't come under auspicious activity. It comes the social duty, under the social duty.
Yeah, but neither of them is for name and fame.
Yeah.
You just anonymously knew either he put it in the bandar or give it to a beggar.
Yeah.
Without publicizing your name.
Yeah. But somehow you should see that if you have no attachment, because of the detachment, if you are giving up something, then it comes auspicious activity. Because of the detachment.
Yeah, but if you give it without any inward attachment.
If you are not worried about the use of the thing,
that's it.
Then it comes under auspicious. If you are worried of that thing, that whether it is used in building or in offering to the needy persons, to providing some clothes and houses and food, etc. So then you are still attached with social things. You should not worry of it. Because of the detachment, if you give up something, then it comes under auspicious. So nowadays, what is happening in our sect, especially Acharya Shri and Acharya Tulsi used to say two types of words in the name of donation. One is dan and the second one is visarjan. So nowadays people are confusing that they are giving up money in the name of building a house or some temple, etc. And they are regarding that this is and they are putting their names on the doors or on the walls of the buildings, and they are thinking that this is our religious thing. So they are saying that if you don't put your name without publicity, if you are giving something because of the detachment, you have much more things and you want to offer it or give up those things because of the detachment, then it comes under. But if you are putting some names at some walls and at some other places, and you are attached about the uses of the things, then you are somehow social. So it comes under dan, but not visarjan. Visarjan is more auspicious, and dan comes under social duty. So it is being a social, you have responsibility towards your society also, because you are taking the help of the society. So it is your duty to give some. So don't take it otherwise. We don't act or don't perform any action always in the name of religion. In the name of society, we also perform something. So don't mix the social thing with the spiritual thing. Spirituality is somehow related to the purity of the self and development of the self, the spiritual development of the self. So is it helping to you in the purity of the self? No.
Do you have more slides? How many slides do you have?
Now we have to come, because always we go in some detail. See, there are 18 types of evil activities: injury to life, falsehood, stealing, sexual activity, possession, anger, pride,
What
greed,
is
deceit,
16? Interest in non-RES, non-what? No, the word is not complete.
Which one?
The number 16 is interest
Interest
in non-RES.
Oh yes.
What does RES stand for?
I have to see it.
Rati or Rati. Interest in non-religious activities, or I don't know what RES stands for. What?
Non-restraint.
Non-restraint.
Non-restraint, yes.
That's Rati or Rati, right?
Yeah. Rati or Rati. We are interested in seeing movie, but we are not interested in seeing a monk who is very spiritual. We do not want to meet him. But the persons who are enjoying worldly things, we are always mixed up with. So that is also kind of sinful activity. Yeah? And deceitful untruth. We are performing something wrong, and at the same time we are trying to conceal it. So we are committing two types of mistakes at the same time. Sometimes we tell a lie, and sometimes we deceive. But sometimes what happens, both things take place together. That is deceitful and truth. We do something wrong, and at the same time we try to conceal it. So that comes under 17th, and the 18th one is perverted faith. Because of ignorance about the realities of life and world, we commit some mistake. So that comes under the 18th one. Now we are coming to some words. These are the just anti to ashra. We find a concept of some word in Jainism, because we are looking that there are there is some cause of inflow of karma, there must be always some cause for stopping the karma, and that is known as samvara. So stopping the inflow of karma is known as samvara or inhibition. There are 42 types of doors of karmic inflow. 3 instantaneous and 39 long term and stoppage. All 24 doors completely or partially is inhibition. And inhibition has 2 aspects, psychical and physical, like ashram, dravyashram and bhavashram. Likewise, we also find 2 forms of samvara. One is psychical and the second one is physical. You can say bhavashamba and dravyasamba. So the former is mental detachment, while the latter the cessation of karmic inflow because of the detachment. And the theory of 14 stages of spiritual development is used to explain how inflow is stopped. So I am not coming to that. Now, types of samvaras, which are the 5 activities which we can perform, and through that we can stop the new karmic inflow of So right faith, instead of in perverted faith, you can develop in yourself right faith. It means you have to try to understand the realities, the nature of realities, and try to act according to the nature of reality. So then you can stop new karmic inflow. Abstinence, you have to put control over your desires, over your senses, and through that you can be free from new bondage. Abstinence of laxity, absence of laxity, absence of patience, and absence of activity. The 7 ways of inhibiting karmic inflow. So, guarding of body, speech and mind, careful movement, the 10 moral values, the 12 reflections, entering the 22 hardships, the 5 stages of conduct, the 12 austerities. These type of things which you can perform at your part, on your path, and through that you can take the habit of stopping the karmic agencies. This you don't need to go into much detail. If you want, you can see Tattva Sutra. So in that you can find all these things. Now Nirjara, so dissociation of karmas, how we can separate. See, we are not attracting new karmas, and we are also at the same time stopping new bondage. But the karmas which are already entered into our soul, how we can dissociate. So the Jain Acharyas have given new concept for that, Nirjara. You can also dissociate the karmas which are already entered into your soul because of the ignorance, because of some other reasons. Yeah? So Nirjara, so the purification of the soul on account of the separation of karmic matter is called Nirjara. It is like the water taking out from the pool. See, you are seeing the karmas which are already entered into soul, you can throw out them. So that process is known as Nirjara. So when we perform any penance, so that comes under Nirjara. What we are doing, why we are performing penance? By the process of penance, we dissociate the karmas which are already in soul. So this is the process of throwing the karma, throwing out the karma. So in brief, it is twofold, sakam and akam. Whenever we perform some activities with the desire to attain some spiritual development, so that activity comes under sakam nirjara. And whenever we do some activities without thinking of liberation or dissociating some karmic agency from the soul, but we are performing such things which are causing dissociation of karmas, come under the akam nirjara. So,
can you give 2 examples quickly?
Yeah. See, we are feeling pains nowadays, and we are very calm and cool in that state. We are feeling that because I have earned some karmas, and because of that I am getting some pains in my body. But I am tolerating all those pains. But I am not thinking of liberation or purity of the self at the same time. but because I have some problems and therefore I have to tolerate it. So I am tolerating, and by tolerance I am dissociating some karmic agency which is already inside. Yet, but at the same time I am not thinking from a spiritual point of view. But I have no other alternative, I have to tolerate it. So at every moment we are dissociating karmas, because karmas have some particular time period. So once they attach, they remain with the soul, and after a certain period they goes out. So automatically karmas are dissociating. Whenever their time is overing, they are getting dissociation. So that nirjara comes, that is also a part of nirjara, but that comes akam. But we are performing such non-life. Why we have taken? Because of the liberation, the great desire or keen desire of liberation. We are performing such hard life. We are following disciplines. You know, at every step we have to follow so many disciplines, so many rules and regulations. We are bound with so many rules and regulations. So we are tolerating everything in the name of liberation, in the name of the purification of the soul, and not compulsion. Is it? So this type of a thing which is helping us to dissociate the karmic agency, that comes under sakam. So with the desire of liberation or purity of the self, if we perform any activity, that comes under sakam nirjara, and without any such desire, we are performing activities which is helping to dissociate karmas, but it comes under akam nirjara. It doesn't affect our liberation. Is it?
In this context, can you...
So as fasting, semi-fasting, austerity, seclusion, spiritual study, meditation, etc., these are special activities which we perform because in the name of the purity of the self, or with the purpose of the liberation. They all come under the sakam nirjara. But generally we tolerate many more things in society, in family, in ourselves, but without thinking of all.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. See, first we have to finish this much so that time is getting over. Whenever we perform any activity, we attract karmas, and karmas assimilate with the soul. So here you are looking, the soul is covered by the karmic agency, how it is affected with the karmic agency. We are not pure consciousness. We are getting some karmic agency inside. So this state, when soul and karmas come in close, they become one, they look like one element, but that state is known as bondage. It is not pure soul, it is affected by some other agency, and therefore it doesn't look in pure state. So bondage is the acceptance and assimilation of karmic matter with the soul. In this state, soul and karma come into close contact and look one as the mixture of milk and water mixture. It is like the pool filled with water as shown below. See, the pool is not pure. The four aspects of bondage. There are four aspects of bondage. Whenever we get any bondage, first of all, the type is fixed. And whenever we attract some karmas, the nature of the karmas is determined. This is the first step at the level of bondage. Then duration, how long those karmas will be attached to soul, so that comes under duration. Then intensity, what type of fruitions they will give us, harmful, more harmful, or most harmful. So this type of fruition intensity is also fixed at the time of bondage. And then the mass, how many karmas we would attract in one activity. So that is. And types of birth. Don't go, this is somehow very difficult and very purely. Now we are coming to moksha. So Philip wants to see the purest form of the soul, free from all the karmic body. So you will see that it is the universe The uppermost part is known as Siddhashila or liberation or moksha. As soon as the body gets, our soul gets dissociation from the body, all types of body, means karmic body and the gross body, so it directly goes to liberation. So this is the purest form of the soul, in which you get the light of consciousness, full light of consciousness, and there is no bondage of body. So here we are. The terms liberated, enlightened, emancipated, great soul, great Lord, and Lord are synonymous. The elimination of all types of karmas is liberation. Emancipation means the establishment of the soul in its own nature on account of the destruction of all the karmas. The moment when all karmic bondage is eliminated, the soul soars upwards to the border of the cosmic space. It goes upwards. It is the natural movement of the soul when it becomes free from all the bondage. It goes always upward. It never goes in any direction. The number of emancipated souls are infinite and they never return. So this is the concept of liberation of chains. It is not nihilism.
Is the term Siddha, does that apply to liberated souls?
Yeah, the liberated souls are known as Siddha.
They're known as Siddhas.
Yeah. So sometimes people, say about Jains that they do not accept God. So because the word Siddha is common in Jainism for God, godly soul.
It's also a term used for the mystics in India.